Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to the episode. I am rolling. We are recording without power. My husband has the generator going, so if you hear this just like annoying hum in the background, my friend, this is me honoring my calendar and getting done what I need to get done. So Alabama has finally arrived here, and the weather has just been crazy. So we had some crazy thunderstorms, knocked down a lot of trees. So, long story short, if you hear the sounds, just ignore it because today is a great episode. So, the reason that I wanted to do this episode is I have had the opportunity recently to do many sales calls with you guys about the Profitable Myofunctional Therapy program. And so many of you guys are coming to me, you're giving me your business information, and when we do your call, you're saying, I don't understand why I don't have any clients, or I don't have enough business to make, to ever think about leaving dental hygiene. And so that's what we're talking about in this lesson is myofunctional therapy marketing. Now, I'm really going to talk about 4 things that I think are important. And then at the bottom, we're going to kind of dive into a little bit more of it. But the biggest thing is that most myofunctional therapists think that marketing means posting on Instagram and putting your credentials in your bio. And most of you post and you wait, and the clients don't come, and you start wondering, like, where are they even at? And here's the part that nobody told you. Myofunctional therapy marketing is a long game. Okay. It is bigger than any one platform. And most of the work that decides whether you ever get found, a lot of that work is invisible. Okay. So most trained therapists have no idea what it actually takes. And so today I'm going to show you the layer underneath the posting, the part that I first look at when somebody shows me their business. And we're going to talk about why you can be trained, why you can be very talented, and completely invisible at the same time, okay? So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So really there's 4 things that I'm going to go over. And I have just kind of jotted some notes down here. So the first thing I want to say to you is marketing is a system. It is not a post. So many of you guys are just putting out a reel or a carousel post or something, okay? That is not marketing. Marketing is a body of work that compounds, okay? It takes a long time, okay? And posting with nothing underneath it is like shouting into an empty room. It's a long game. It is months. It's not days. And also, it's, if you consider what you put on social media, so many of you guys think that's all that marketing is. But if you put something on TikTok, it might not ever even show up. And if it's on Instagram, it's gone in seconds to hours. So long form content, like the work that I do with this podcast, I have a blog, I have a video show. Those are the 3 biggest long form content. And it's such a big piece of my marketing strategy because it has a return, okay? It serves me for a long time. It's not just gone in a few minutes. I'm not here for vanity metrics. I'm not here for somebody to just give me a thumbs up and like something on social media. I'm here to run my company and to get clients and get students like you, help people like you, okay? So marketing is a system. It's not a post. The next thing I want to tell you is that you can't market with what you haven't positioned. You hear me talk about this all the time. Niche, 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 okay? Always. 100% of the time, you're never going to back me down into saying that you can serve everybody. So the whole womb to the grave thing basically means you specialize in seeing anybody at any age, doing all the things, okay? You are not going to reach anybody. Vague is invisible, my friend. Nobody's ever going to know that, oh, she is exactly for me. Okay. Also, no referral source is going to know who to send to you. You should have a sentence of who you want your chiropractor to send to you. Tired women, tired middle-aged women who are diagnosed with sleep apnea, middle-aged women who are chronic pain sufferers, or whoever your who is, okay? So that's a biggie. Now, I know that when you're hearing me say this, you're going to feel stressed, or maybe you're a little bit behind, okay? Or you're going to think like maybe I'm just stupid and I don't know anything about business. So this has nothing to do with your clinical training. It has nothing to do with you as a human. It's not a character flaw. It is a business structure gap that nobody trained you to fill, okay? And it's important, and this is why I'm talking about it, because so many of you guys are so frustrated. You want to build that life you're bonkers about, but you don't know how to get there. And many of you never will, based on what you're doing, okay? I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but I am the bearer of honesty. Okay. And that's what y'all love me for. The third thing I want to talk about is what I call the invisible findability layer. So this is so important. Do you know if Google can even find you? Do you know if your website is telling Google indexing to stay away? Do you have a Google business profile? Does your website talk about who you help and what you do? Is your website warm and welcoming? There's things that belong on your website. You know, your images, you have to have alt text. So many of you guys, I'm studying your websites. I have tools that I use, and I will go look at websites, and nobody has any headers. Nobody has anything formatted correctly. Nobody has alt text. If you've got images on there, they're uploaded as JPEG.68432. That doesn't tell Google anything, okay? So I will tell you this. The woman who trained me to do myofunctional therapy, she never taught me about building a website. She never taught me about having a website that made me visible, not invisible. So that's not what clinical training is for. But programs like the Profitable Myofunctional Therapist, absolutely, that's what we do in that program. All right. And then the fourth thing, my friend, credentials are not your marketing. Okay. I'm trained, hire me. You don't want to be just a business card that's just shouting into the void, okay? Your clients are searching for, they're not searching for a myofunctional therapist. They're searching for whatever their pain point is, whatever the problem is that they are living with, okay? Meet them where they are in words that they use. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. So I have recently done some site reviews, and one of them, so I'm just going to kind of anonymously talk about them so you understand what I'm saying. So one of the sites that I reviewed, the website said, basically, I do everything. I see everybody. I do, I am everything to everybody. And also, then the website just had stock photos, no alt text, no SEO stuff, none of that stuff. So I can understand why she is so concerned, because I think she said she has never had somebody contact her from her website. And again, I guess one thing that I didn't throw in here too is, if you're not using Google Analytics, how do you know? I know exactly how many people, where they're coming from, and what platforms, and was it this Pinterest post, or was it this one, or was it this one, or was it this one? So I have that dialed in. Those metrics help me make decision. Okay, you've heard me say that we don't like data, not drama. Okay, so making data-driven decisions, that's what your Google Analytics is for. Very important piece of the puzzle. Okay, another website I reviewed recently had a no follow index on it. So literally what that tag on her website was telling Google is, hey, don't you worry about me over here. Okay, and she was obviously getting no traffic because she had told Google like, hands off. I don't want you to look at me. So the no index is it is valid for some pages of your website, but it needs to be for things like not your homepage, not your blogs. And every single time I write a blog, my friend, I take it to my Google Search Console and I feed it to them and I make them index it. And how many of you guys know whether or not your website is actually having indexing issues? Is it indexed? Are the pages even showing up on Google? This is so very important. So this is why many of you guys are struggling and you're not understanding why you're not getting any traffic, okay? I know how many of you guys are searching every month for myofunctional therapy marketing, okay? I see the keyword volume. I see the search, all of that stuff. I get your emails and your questions. These are the important questions to be asking yourself. So here's your homework. Go look at your front door. What does the market see when they look for you? Do they find you? Are you out there at all? Okay, so I want to just kind of go over, I've got some stuff pulled up here on my other screen. You know, I'm always telling you, hey, if you're stuck and you don't know where to go, let me help you. That you can book an Unstuck call where I'm going to make sure that you walk away with at least one thing you can start working on. I did one the other day, and I'm telling you, the homework list she got was so robust because there was so many different things that she could get started on right away. Okay. And of course, I'm always going to tell you, hey, here's what I would do with you if you were inside the Profitable Myofunctional Therapist. That is our flagship coaching program. That's where we solve all of these problems. So I just want to give you a little bit of a taste about what we do and what makes us different. So when you book a call with me, I run a complete analysis on your website. So I look at your website structure, I look at the SEO and the GEO. So the GEO is the generative engine optimization. So if you go Google something, you know that you get the AI block at the top. Okay, so that's your GEO. The name of the game of SEO and GEO has absolutely changed. If you do not serve up what Google deems as the most valuable piece of information, if you are not demonstrating that you have what is called EAT, expert, authoritative, and trustworthiness, all of these different things, then you're not going to show up. So this is very important. So when I run this analysis and we look at your web structure, we look at your SEO and your GEO, I also do what I call a conversion audit. So I run this and we're looking at things like what your niche is. So does your website tell us that? Where are your services? Who your ideal client seems to be? Like are you directly telling that person? What else do we look at here? We look at your website structure and user journey. So clarity on your homepage, navigation structure. I'm sure you know, or I hope you know about what above the fold means. That's anything that's just visible without scrolling. So when a page loads, that's the first thing that you see. What's there? Okay. What's your page hierarchy look like? What does your service page say? What's your about page say? What are your calls to action? Do you have trust building elements on your website? Do you have testimonials, reviews, or proof? That's a biggie too. Is somebody going to your website and it's just one page, totally generic, that doesn't really speak to anybody who's saying, hey, my pain point is, do you have any of that on there? Is it mobile friendly? Okay, many of you guys have garbage for a website when it's on a phone. Okay, and if you looked at your Google Analytics, you would see 95% of your traffic, if you have traffic, 95%. Actually, mine's probably higher. Is on a phone. So everything I do has to be optimized for a phone. So then another thing that I look at when I look at your website is what's working, what's confusing, where visitors might drop off, what pages are missing, what sections should be reordered, and then what needs to be added to increase inquiries about your services, okay? And then we look at SEO readiness. I look for clear keyword targeting, local SEO signals. I look at page titles and meta descriptions if they're visible. I look at your header 1 and header 2 structure. I look at internal linking. I look at if you have a schema and if you have FAQ content, frequently asked questions. Do you have a blog? Okay, going back to that marketing and that long form content, that blog is going to serve you over and over and over again, much better than a silly Instagram post. Okay, you can distribute stuff on Instagram, but your marketing, like that long form content, podcast, video, or blog, is going to serve you much, much better. And then I look at Google Business Profile, and I look at reviews and reputation signals. And then what's next? I look at GEO readiness. And so this is an audit where I look at how likely it is if somebody asks ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or Perplexity about you, or how likely is it that you're going to be part of their recommendation? And then we look at your competitor comparison. So how do you rank, next to your competitors? Okay, so that's a biggie. And then we look at client acquisition and then some sales stuff. So that's a lot of stuff. In addition to that, I also run a competitive intelligence report and a social scrape. Okay. What that means is basically I go out there into the interwebs and I scrape anything about your business, like your social profiles, that kind of stuff. So I pull up exactly what those out in the wild are seeing. Okay. So when you do that call with me, you leave having an idea of A, things you can get started on, B, what's wrong, and C, how we're going to help you do that. Okay. So the thing is, you just can't do it alone. And I don't want you to struggle and try and do it alone, because that's what we do. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful in just giving you an idea of really what myofunctional therapy marketing is. It's not a carousel post. It's not a TikTok reel of somebody dancing. It's not doing the latest trending thing. It's actually making sure that you're visible. That's the place to start. So I gave you a lot of homework, okay? So go check out your front door. See what the universe sees when they go looking for you. Do they find you? Is your name correct? On a recent analysis that I did, the business name wasn't even the name on the homepage, okay? And also, we uncovered that there was 2 people practicing with the same name with very similar things. So as a business owner, you'd want to know that so that you're not losing marketing traffic to that other person. So lots of things. Go see how you're looking. Take some advice out of this episode. Go improve your website. Okay, there's lots of nuggets. Book your Unstuck call. That's the biggest thing, because you're going to walk away with homework and things to help. Okay, so that is it, my friend. I'm landing this plane. I'm going to go get the generator shut off. I'll be back soon, where we will talk more about starting, growing, simplifying your business. I'll see you then.